Labour accused of running scared of reform UK as local elections face. Uncertainty Labour has been accused of running scared from Reform UK at the ballot box, following revelations that some local elections in key target areas for the rising party might face cancellation. This morning, local government minister Jim McMahon sparked fury by stating that certain local elections scheduled for next year could be postponed due to potential reorganization of local authorities. This announcement has ignited a fierce backlash from Reform UK, a party that has seen impressive success in recent council votes, often starting from scratch. As part of Labour's broader devolution push, areas such as Kent, Essex, Lancashire, Hertfordshire, and Sussex are reportedly being considered for election cancellations. The news has drawn sharp criticism, with Reform accusing Labour of fearing the electoral rise of their party and attempting to suppress democracy. Reform UK's spokesperson did not mince words, stating, "It's clear these elections are potentially being cancelled because of Reform's surge. Labour is running scared of the ballot box and knows the only way to avoid losing is to cancel the elections altogether." Party chairman Zia Yusuf took to social media to amplify the message. In a scathing post, he highlighted the apparent contradiction in Labour's actions, writing, "First, Labour's former deputy PM, Baroness Harman, claims Reform is a threat to democracy simply for offering voters an alternative. Now, a Labour minister talks about dispensing with local elections altogether. This authoritarian Labour government is the real threat to democracy." Jim McMahon, however, defended the move, suggesting that it is standard practice to postpone elections in cases where council reorganizations are underway. He assured that elections would proceed unless a statutory consultation deemed reorganization necessary, adding that some local authorities had already requested changes. Despite McMahon's attempts to clarify the situation, the controversy has only intensified. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage weighed in on the matter, condemning the potential cancellations as a desperate move by Labour. Farage stated, "Cancelling elections in areas where Reform is gaining momentum is the act of a desperate government. They call us a threat to democracy while behaving like third world dictators." Baroness Harriet Harman, Labour's former interim leader, inadvertently added fuel to the fire. Just days ago, Harman acknowledged Reform's growing influence, pointing to recent by-elections where the party had achieved vote shares as high as 40% from a standing start. She warned that Labour's decline in support was significant and noted that Reform UK's rise could lead to the Conservatives being replaced as the main opposition party in the next election. "I feel conflicted about this," Harman admitted during a Sky News interview, "because I don't want to talk up Reform. But the reality is they seem to have a clear argument, and they are resonating with voters in ways Labour and the Conservatives are not." The combination of Harman's remarks and McMahon's announcement has deepened concerns about Labour's ability to compete in upcoming elections. Reform UK continues to gain traction across the country, targeting seats in key regions ahead of May's elections. Their rise has underscored a broader dissatisfaction among voters, particularly in traditionally Labour strongholds, where Reform's message of change is resonating strongly. Meanwhile, in other news, an EasyJet flight from Morocco to Glasgow was forced to make an emergency landing in Portugal following disruptive passenger behavior. Flight EZY-3176, which departed Agadir on December 10th, was diverted to Faro after the cabin crew reported safety concerns. Portuguese police were called to remove the unruly passenger, who was subsequently arrested. Despite the unexpected diversion, the flight resumed its journey to Glasgow and landed at 12:54 a.m. An EasyJet spokesperson confirmed that the airline prioritizes passenger and crew safety above all else, stating, "While such incidents are rare, we take them very seriously and do not tolerate disruptive behavior on board." On a different note, speculation is mounting over whether the Prince and Princess of Wales will attend King Charles's annual pre-Christmas lunch this year. Traditionally held at Windsor Castle, the festive gathering has been moved to Buckingham Palace for the first time in 2 years. However, the change in venue could complicate matters for William, Kate, and their 3 children, as the timing may conflict with their planned departure to their Norfolk residence, Anmer Hall, for the school holidays. The Wales family has historically attended the Christmas lunch, which brings together around 70 members of the extended royal family. Former rugby star Mike Tindall previously revealed the scale of the event, describing how the children have their own separate table, while adults gather across 7 large tables. This year's guest list is expected to include senior royals such as the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, Princess Royal, and other extended family members like Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie with their families. However, questions remain over the attendance of the Duke of York, who is reportedly being encouraged to make a discreet arrival and departure from the event. King Charles's decision to host the lunch at Buckingham Palace marks a significant shift and underscores his efforts to modernize royal traditions. As we close today's updates, the controversies surrounding Labour's potential election cancellations and Reform UK's continued rise highlight a pivotal moment in British politics. Nigel Farage's party appears to be capitalizing on voter dissatisfaction, with Labour and the Conservatives under increasing pressure. The coming months will determine whether Reform can sustain its momentum or if Labour's devolution plans will lead to further political battles. Is Labour's fear of Reform UK set to reshape the political landscape of Britain? The party's decision to potentially cancel local elections in key regions has sparked outrage, with critics accusing them of silencing the voices of voters who are ready for change. As Reform UK surges ahead in popularity, could this be the start of Labour's downfall? Nigel Farage isn't holding back, labeling Labour's actions as authoritarian. But could this backlash backfire? Will Reform UK's rise finally shift the balance of power in Britain's politics? Stay tuned as we dive deeper into what could be the most game-changing political battle of our time. Let me know your thoughts on today's developments in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more British news and analysis. Thank you, take care, and goodbye.